Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Jenna.
And you're listening to ODFM.
Today's episode is One Dream from Murder. Today, I am going to bless you with two stories.
Ooh, I feel so lucky.
Very similar stories that have very different outcomes.
Ooh, okay. I'm super excited.
All right, so here we go. We're starting with the first one.
Okay.
Picture it, Sicily, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was there. I was like, oh, yes.
Sorry.
I'm going to Italy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. 1986.
Okay. Oof, I had bad hair.
There was a lot of hair.
Yeah.
A lot of hair.
Oof.
Okay, so it's 1986. Kenneth James Parks was a married 23-year-old Canadian man.
Okay.
Under a lot of stress.
Oh, yeah, fun. We all know what that's like right now.
Right? It was like preaching to the choir, dude.
Yeah, dude, we get it.
He was working 10-hour days at his job as a project coordinator for an electric company.
Jeez.
He had a gambling problem.
Uh-oh.
He liked to bet on the horses. He liked the ponies. He liked to play the ponies.
God. Yeah.
And he had lost a lot of money.
Oh, shit. That's easy.
To cover his losses, he took funds from his family's savings.
Uh-oh.
At the time, he had a pregnant wife. Not a good time to be taking pregnant.
Dang it. Yeah, no.
Pregnant savings, family savings. Pregnant savings? Well,
Savings
really,
for
when someone's pregnant for the first time, all savings are for babies.
All savings are babies.
Everything is baby related. So it wasn't enough to cover his losses, so he began embezzling money at work.
Oh, shiza. It never works out. Why do people think that's going to work out? It never works out.
So at the beginning of 1987, his wife Karen gave birth to a baby girl.
Okay.
But by March of 1987, after his embezzling totaled $30,000.
Yeah. Oh.
His actions were discovered and he was fired from his job.
Yeah, that's a little too obvious. You can't cover that much.
Totally. Right?
Wow.
On May 20th, he went to his first Gamblers Anonymous meeting.
Oh, well, that's good. That's progress.
And he made plans to tell his in-laws, Barbara Ann and Dennis Woods, about the gambling and financial problems on Sunday, May 24th. So he was going to come clean to family, probably ask for some help.
For some help. Yeah.
Right? So he had a very close relationship with his mother-in-law, who used to refer to him as her gentle giant.
Aww.
I saw a little side story. So he's 23 and he's married, right? And his wife is also pretty young. What I heard as a little side story was his wife actually had been a runaway, and he actually met her and convinced her to go home.
Aww.
And so her mother was very endeared to. Yes.
Yeah. Aww.
You know. So, and then they ended up getting married and all this.
Oh, sweet.
And they still had two younger kids at home. So she was the oldest and already out and married, but they still had two teenagers at home. So this all sounds fairly okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's recoverable.
Right.
You would think.
I don't think this part's recoverable.
Oh, okay.
In the early morning hours of May 24th, 1987. Now, this is the day that they had planned to go and talk to the in-laws. Kenneth Parks, who had fallen asleep in front of the TV in the living room, got up, put his shoes on, grabbed his keys, walked out of the house, leaving the front door wide open.
It's Canada.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He got in his car, left the garage door wide open, and drove 14 miles through the streets of Toronto to the home of his in-laws.
Okay.
This is all like way early morning. Like
4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Like super
exactly.
early.
Since it was still early morning, his in-laws were asleep when Kenneth let himself into the house with the key that they had given him.
Oh, okay.
Upon entering their bedroom, he bludgeoned his mother-in-law with a tire iron and stabbed her 6 times with a kitchen knife.
What? Ken, what are you doing?
One stab was to the heart.
Oh my God. What is he doing?
I know. He choked and stabbed his father-in-law.
Jesus. He snapped.
Mm-hmm. He paused outside the bedroom of his 2 teenage sister-in-laws.
Oh, no.
Sisters-in-law? Right?
Sisters-in-law. Yeah.
They heard him outside the door grunting like an animal.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like
that gives
very
me chills.
Weird. Yeah. Right? But he didn't go inside. He instead turned and left the house, drove to a nearby police station where, still covered in blood, he told the officers, "I just killed someone with my bare hands. Oh my God, I just killed someone. I've just killed 2 people. I just killed my mother and father-in-law. I stabbed and beat them to death. It's all my fault."
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
Wow. At least he left the girls.
Yes. And the father-in-law survived.
What?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Apparently he choked him until he passed out. And
oh, good. He thought he was dead, but he wasn't. Oh, my God.
So Kenneth Parks was arrested for the first-degree murder of Barbara Ann Woods and the attempted murder of Dennis Woods. But according to his lawyer, he could not be held liable for his actions because he had committed them while sleepwalking.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Are you like on mega drugs? Is this like Ambien?
Apparently not.
Wow.
So, okay, I got to see if I can say this word. Somnambulism.
Somnambulism. Okay.
Somnambulism represents a twilight state between sleep and wakefulness during which sleepers could engage in complex activities, usually seen during wakefulness. Things like carrying on phantom conversations, wandering around your house or outside your house, eating, or potentially dangerous activities such as swimming or driving.
Swimming? Holy shit.
Right?
Wouldn't that wake you up? You would think you'd water.
The water, right? There have been cases of homicides committed by people while sleepwalking, though they tend to be rare.
Wow. You would hope.
This brings up a whole 14 miles he drove.
Wow. Yeah, and drove safely.
Right.
So he obviously had his eyes open, but he was in a dream state.
So, Kelly, I really look forward to discussing true crime stories with you for our podcast each week. And you do such a great job of putting it together.
Thanks. Well, I use Anchor, so it makes it so easy. I love the creation tools. They allow me to edit and record right from my phone or computer without all the expensive or confusing software. And it's free.
Wow, all that and it's free?
Yeah. Plus, they distribute our podcast for us, so we can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more.
That's awesome. And we can make money from our podcast with no minimum listenership, right?
Yep. Anchor is everything we need to create our podcast in one place.
I think anyone who wants to have a great experience making a podcast with a good friend should download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM, which is ANCHOR.FM, to get started.
For sure. Now let's get back to that murder story.
Yes.
Oh my God. Because I do remember, when I was a kid, I had a few incidents. And it was around the time, you're going through your hormones. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's about the time of puberty. And it's happening to another of my friends' girl right now. And they have to lock her in a room because she will leave and do stuff. And I remember we were in Disney World, maybe it wasn't Disney World, some trip. And we had a balcony outside the hotel room, and I had gotten up and I was trying to open the door, unlock it, and it woke my mom up. And she came and got me. I know. She was like, Jesus, you could have walked out. And I can have full conversation still at this time when I'm asleep. People can start a conversation with me. I have done that before. Yeah. I know my sister has done it before. I've witnessed it. It was hilarious. I know I've done it before. I know my husband's used to sleepwalk when he was a kid. He woke up outside sometimes. He had knocked on his neighbor's door, where his friend lived, and they walked him back. Whoa. I know my son has. Oh, no. I don't know that I would call it sleepwalked, but just really wasn't awake. I know he got up, came into my room. I was like, dude, you okay? He's like, I gotta pee. I was like, okay. And he's 6. And but then I was kind of waiting, and I didn't hear the light go on in the bathroom, and I didn't see the light go on in the bathroom. So I was like, okay. So I went back into, I went to his room, and he's standing there, and I heard a weird noise, and I flipped on the light, and he's standing at the steps of his loft bed, just peeing. I was like, dude, that's not the bathroom. He had no idea what I was talking about. He just peed and then went on his merry way. Yeah, I needed to pee. I just wanted to tell you. That's not the bathroom, dude.
Oh.
So, you know, but still, this stuff is harmless. My daughter also, when she was really little, had night terrors.
Oh,
where like she would open her eyes.
Oh my God.
When she was really little and she couldn't talk yet, like it freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, like I thought she was blind. And then my husband goes, she might be having a night terror. I had those, my sister, my brother. I'm like, where was this information before we had children?
Because that would have been helpful for the genetic component of stuff.
I really feel like that's one of the things that I feel like people should do before they get married is they should just have a genetic discussion or what weird shit did you do when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Because I want to be prepared for what I'm bringing into this world.
For real.
Right?
Okay, anyway, that was off on a tangent.
Right.
Of course.
Small tangent. Small. During the trial, the court heard testimony about Kenneth Parks' long history of deep sleep, including difficulty waking up on many occasions.
Wow.
They heard about the stress he'd been under in the year leading up to the murder, and that he had lost his job and was facing criminal charges for embezzlement.
Wow.
All very stressful, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personally, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah, that's me too. I'd be the opposite. But maybe he was so exhausted and so tired, it's like it just knocked him the fuck out, you know?
Right. So after 9 hours of deliberation, the jury found him not guilty.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
How does the daughter feel about that? I mean,
oh God,
or the girls.
Right? So I know during the trial they were all supportive of him.
That's mind blowing too.
Right? Yeah, but you killed my mom.
Yeah.
And almost my dad.
Yeah. Oh.
So parasomnia is a sleep disorder that causes abnormal behavior while sleeping, including sleepwalking, night terrors, and talking in your sleep. So I feel like some of those are a much lesser degree.
Right. That's a range. That's a big range there.
I found this YouTube video called The Curious Case of Kenneth Parks. And it was a clip from Dr. Carlos Schenck. It's like Schenck. There's a lot of C's and K's and okay.
Schenck. Okay.
Right.
Something.
And he was speaking at the World of Science Festival in 2011. And watching that, I learned that Kenneth Parks had a history of sleepwalking. At 11 years old, his mother caught him as he was about to sleepwalk out of a 6th-story window. And that parasomnia runs in his family. They found 20 relatives that were of a 1st or 2nd degree connection to him that also had several different sleep disorders.
That's super interesting.
I believe this is what the jury heard. I also found out from that YouTube video that before the incident, Kenneth had suffered from 3 known triggers that can lead to sleepwalking. 1, sleep deprivation.
Okay.
He had apparently been awake for 48 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That is a lot of time.
2, physical stress. And I wish I could have found more information on this, but apparently he had played rugby that day on a hot and humid day, and he was out of shape. And I'm wondering, like, if you're, I don't know, when I've been up for 48 hours, my ass isn't playing rugby.
Right. That's like the last thing you want to do.
Right?
Unless maybe he was trying to relieve stress.
I don't know.
Wow.
And then 3, emotional stress. His gambling debts had put a huge strain on his marriage, obviously.
Yeah, and he was embezzled against a company, so who knows if they were going to charge
And he had
him.
a 5-month-old baby. I mean, that enough.
Jesus. Yeah.
That alone.
Itself.
Sleep deprivation. The police also noted when he was at the police station that he had cut the tendons in all of his fingers during the attack.
Jesus
So
Christ.
they said that the knife had probably slipped.
Oh, ouch.
And since he had felt no pain, that was used in the trial by his defense to show that he was not awake because that would have been extremely painful.
Yeah. Holy, you'd think it would wake you up. Oh my God.
Right? How does that not wake you up? I mean, I know
That's mind-blowing.
I've heard, like, I don't know how well it works, but when people have night terrors, you're not supposed to, like,
touch them or whatever.
Bother them or whatever. But I do know, and it had worked a couple times with my daughter when she was having night terrors, we would run her hand underwater.
Oh, interesting.
And that gradually woke her up.
Wow. It didn't make her pee her pants.
No, that's just at slumber parties. That's different. In this doctor's opinion, this Dr. Schneck or whatever, and he's a world-renowned sleep expert guy.
Scientist,
I don't know.
yeah.
He said that he was rightfully acquitted.
that Kenneth had organized a barbecue at his in-laws' house where he was going to tell them about the gambling and how he'd lost his job. So in his sleepwalking mind, he was going to the barbecue just 12 hours too soon.
Oh, was
I
he
still find that
butchering
really
animals at the barbecue?
What? I still found that really weird.
And did he take the knife from the home?
Yeah, I couldn't find that information. They did say that he took the tire iron from the garage, but it didn't specify if it was his garage at his house or their
theirs.
garage when he got there. And they didn't say where the kitchen knife came from.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah. I feel like there were so many opportunities in that he could have woken up.
Oh, God, that's crazy.
So he missed a life sentence by avoiding a guilty verdict.
Wow.
And he wasn't sentenced to a psychiatric hospital because he wasn't judged insane. Instead, he just walked out a free man.
Wow. They may, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe he needs at least to be forced to do sleep studies or something for science,
right? So the case was appealed all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada in 1992, but the judges there upheld the decision.
Yeah.
He was put on medication and reportedly never had a reoccurrence of his somnambulism, which is really, after this big one, you've never again have you faced any kind of stress and it just went away? I know he was on medication. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, maybe the medication does something to the brain.
So he was the most recent stuff I could find on him was a news report in 2006 saying that he was now a father of 6.
Oh, wow.
And
maybe he's sleep sexing. Sleep spreading. Yeah.
I would imagine having 6 different kids, he's gone through plenty of bouts of sleep deprivation.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Oh, God. But in 2006, he was in the news because he was running for a spot on the local school board. And it came up in the news that people were like, I feel like there's like a morality issue. Yeah. This guy killed his mother-in-law.
Yeah. We don't want to put him through any stress.
Well, and then they were like, and also he embezzled money. But
that one's
maybe
big
we
too.
don't want him on the school board. I could not even find if he had gotten it or not. I just saw that it was in the news and a lot of people were upset about it. So I don't know if he ever did. And in that YouTube video, the guy he just was kind of like spitting out information. And he kind of said something along the lines he's like, I think I heard that they got divorced, which I could understand that would put a strain on the marriage if you killed
in-laws.
Yeah, parents. Yeah, I could see that. So I was like,
ugh. So I wonder.
I don't know how.
Gosh, if he got remarried and was like, oh, by the way, I should probably tell you about some stuff.
I just feel like he did a lot of stuff there for someone who was sleepwalking.
Yeah. And how do you not wake up? That is super, super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He should definitely have to be volunteered to do sleep studies.
There should be something. Or if it was involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah,
involuntary, right? That's a whole thing, right?
It is here. Maybe not in Canada. I don't know. But you would think.
I don't know. But isn't that something that you can get, like, if you cause a car accident and someone, and someone dies?
Yeah, you can definitely get that.
You weren't trying to, but you were their cause. He walked.
Insane. Yeah, he should have gotten something.
Isn't that weird?
Oh, that poor family. How sad.
Seriously. So I wonder if those 6 kids were with that same woman then. Because I don't know.
That's what I was wondering too.
If he got remarried or something, because that's... Do you own a small business or make cool and unusual handcrafted items?
We love artists and small business owners, and we would be stoked to help get the word out about yours.
Consider advertising with us through this podcast. It's super affordable, and our podcast reaches every corner of the U.S., even worldwide.
To find out more, visit otfmpodcast.com and click on the Advertise with Us link.
Let's get your creativity into the hands of people who would love it. I am now going to tell you a similar story that had a very different ending.
Ooh, okay.
Now we're going to fast forward to 1997.
Oh, okay. Oh, 10 years later.
Put yourself in there.
Okay. I'm feeling, I was very into rap and Beastie Boys. Okay.
Beastie Boys. Okay. Think Beastie Boys. Okay.
And Beastie Boy.
On the night of January 17th, 1997, 41-year-old Scott Falater, and yes, that's how you say his name. I knew you were going to laugh, so I'm just going to stop there.
Falater. It's like Falater. The masturbator of fills.
Exactly.
The Falater.
Falater.
Okay.
Oh, God. 41-year-old Scott Falater was preparing for a lesson plan for the Mormon religious education class he taught early mornings.
Oh.
So, yes, their professor of
Fellatio.
Mormon religious education was Scott
Professor
Falater.
of Fellatio.
Right. Oh,
Falater.
God.
Okay.
So he used to teach a religious education class early mornings before he went to work as an engineer for Motorola. Yarmila was his wife.
Wow.
And he used to call her Yarm. That was her Yarm.
How
that was her
pretty.
Yarm. Yeah. Not Yam, but Yarm.
Yeah.
Yarmila, also 41, and his wife of 20 years, asked him to go look at the filter on the in-ground pool in the backyard of their Phoenix, Arizona home. So they had an in-ground pool. And she's like, something's wonky with the filter.
Yeah.
Can you go look at it?
Oh, God.
He was really tired because he gets up early and teaches this class. Then he works all day.
Oh, yeah.
But, she was like, can you please go look at it? I'm worried if you don't deal with it, it's going to, the whole pool's going to turn green by morning.
Ew. Yeah. Right. Oh, God. I'm afraid to find out what's in the pool.
So he went outside and tried to fix a damaged O-ring, but it was after 9 p.m. Okay, so he was finding it too difficult to do in the dark. He's tired. He's just like, he tried. Mm-hmm. So he gave up and he went inside.
I don't recommend messing with pool equipment in the dark, especially if you've been drinking a lot. I have never done that.
So Yarmila had fallen asleep on the couch watching the TV show ER, which in 1997 I was also watching.
Me too.
He kissed her goodnight, said, I'll fix it tomorrow, and went upstairs to bed. Their 2 teenage kids were already in bed. And it was around 9:30 p.m. That's the part of the story that I found really weird.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. How did they achieve that? Because that does not happen at my house.
Exactly. My kids aren't in bed at 9:30 p.m. and they're 6 and 11. Anyway, the next thing Scott remembers is standing at the top of the stairs of his home in his pajamas with a police officer pointing a gun at him and yelling for him to get on the floor.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. He was hopelessly confused. And he was asked, are there any other people in the home? And he said, yes, my wife and 2 children. But this was odd because the police already knew that Yarmila was dead, floating in the blood-filled pool in the backyard. Your face right now.
What did you do, Scott?
Right.
Oh, no.
Their next door neighbor, Greg Coons, I heard there were a couple of different reports on this, so this is just one report of what he saw and said, because I saw a couple different ones. So I'm not really sure which one is the actual one.
Correct. Yeah. He
heard screams coming from his next door neighbor's house. Okay. Other places said he just heard moans and rustling and rolling around in the rocks, because that place in Arizona, that area in Arizona, they have rocks in their yard.
Escaping. Yeah. Smart. Wow. So he heard something. That's all.
Yeah. There was noises, and he was like, I'm going to go, does somebody need help? What's going? It was
suspect. Okay.
So he peered over the fence between the properties, and he saw Scott repeatedly stabbing his wife in the backyard, and then go inside and change clothes.
Wow.
Next, he saw Scott try to quiet their agitated dog, which I believe was a golden retriever. So the Falater's dog tried to quiet the dog, then rolled Yarmila into the swimming pool and held her head underwater.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Then he sealed the knife and bloody clothes in a Tupperware container and deposited it into the wheel well of his Volvo. So the neighbor called 911, which I got to stop right there going, if you're watching all this.
I know, why are you running to call?
Yeah, first? Why did you watch this whole thing go down? And also, why didn't you be like, yo, what are you doing? I would have yelled, right? Because maybe he would have stopped.
Maybe.
So he calls 911, and according to ABC 15, the neighbor told the dispatcher, quote, the husband just threw, I believe, the wife into the pool, and it looked like he's holding her underwater. And that's why I was like, so obviously she wasn't dead, so you could have stopped it.
Yeah.
That was the part of this story that really bothered me. I was like, you just watched all this go down?
What the hell? He was just like, let me get the popcorn. I mean,
right? That's kind of what I felt like.
What the hell?
Because listing all those things, I'm like, this isn't something he saw in 60 seconds. He watched this play out.
Yeah, especially he went inside, he changed clothes. Why wouldn't you run then, even just to go check on her, or something?
Right? Pull her out of the pool? I don't know. Something, right?
Oh.
Dial 911 and then go pull her out of the pool? I don't know. Something. The dispatcher asked if there had been a fight, and the neighbor replied, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. It's weird, and I'm concerned. You think? I'm concerned.
I mean, I have concerns. Disturbing her. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm a little worried. Maybe. I might go back to bed.
The other thing that I found really odd.
Oh, God.
Was 15-year-old Megan and 12-year-old Michael didn't hear any of the attack.
Wow. So maybe they have their deep sleep too.
Right? Like
it's genetic.
These kids went to bed at like 9 o'clock and they were like sound asleep. I don't know. It was weird. Michael was 12 at the time, said he was awoken by a police officer and that they told him his parents had a fight and that his mother was dead.
Oh, what a poor baby.
Which I was like, I think they could have handled that better.
Yeah, maybe maybe just say, hey, we need to leave.
Right. There's been an accident. You're going to go down to the police station and I'm going to let someone more qualified tell you what happened. Tell
you in a better way.
Seriously, that bothered me too. I'm like, what the fuck? So at the police station is where Scott was informed that Yarmila was dead and that a neighbor saw him stab her numerous times before drowning her in the pool. Again, he watched a whole slew of activity.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
During the interrogation, Scott told Detective John Norman he had no memory of what he had done and that he and Yarmila had a happy marriage. All he remembered was Yarmila watching ER on TV when he went to bed that night. And the next thing he recalled was the sound of police sirens in his driveway. And he said, I heard the dogs go crazy and I heard all the voices. I came down and you guys were all over me. God. So again.
How annoying.
Right, yeah,
oh my
exactly.
God.
Like, you guys were just everywhere. But again, so the kids heard nothing?
But it woke him up.
But they have like earplugs in?
Right. But it woke him up when he hadn't been able to wake up, even with all the stuff he did.
Right, exactly. His wife yelling and fighting at him didn't wake him up, but the sirens did. This story I heard about because they literally just did a 2020 episode on it that aired on January 30th of just
my God.
2021.
I'll have to look that up.
And I only watched the first half of it, but I watched the first half of it and I saw video of Scott in the interrogation room. And he's wearing clean pajamas.
Right.
So he had changed.
Changed.
He's in clean pajamas. What was really odd was he doesn't deny killing his wife. He just keeps saying, I don't remember doing that. And he's not combative. He's not like, oh my God, you guys, it wasn't me. Somebody killed my wife. Go figure out who it was. Like, I don't know. I feel like if that was me, I would be like, you got the wrong person and somebody's out there that just killed my wife. Like, I'd be upset. But he just sits there. He doesn't demand that they find out what happened to his wife. He's just like resigned to the fact that they said he did it. He sits on a chair. So they're like in the interrogation room and there's the police officer facing him and there's a table and he's sitting on a chair that's between the table and the wall. And he just keeps like slumping over and like resting his head on the wall. And he's kind of like hunched over, like he's just really defeated. I found it really kind of
I wonder
odd.
if he'd had lots of incidents in the past with the sleep.
Where there are some. I will tell you there are some. But still, he's just like taking their word for it.
Like, okay, I feel like you're right.
I'd be like, something's wrong here, you guys.
Yeah.
So then the police officer tells him that he has blood on his neck. And this surprises him. And he's like, I do, like, he's in there in the interrogation room, like grabbing his neck. He's like, I didn't know that was there. And they photograph it on him. He's got like blood spatter, like on the back of his ear and stuff.
Oh, God.
Yes. He tells the police, I must have been sleepwalking. And he, again, denies that there was any trouble in their marriage. There was no reason for him to hurt his wife. So he also is arrested and charged with first-degree murder, like the other guy was.
Okay.
So Scott's mother and sister recounted numerous, sometimes violent sleepwalking incidents that occurred during Scott's youth. His sister Laura said she had once tried to wake him up while he was sleepwalking as a teenager, and he reacted by flinging her across the room.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I would have like a squirt bottle near me all time.
Right. No.
No, bad. Wake up. Biggest gun.
Okay, yes, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of this information, his attorney decided to nix a planned insanity defense and build a case around somnambulism.
It was, that other one had gotten off in Canada. I'm sure they could use it as like...
At his trial, which began in June of 1999, prosecutors sought the death penalty.
Wow.
Jurors were told that Yarmila Falater had been stabbed 44 times.
Whew. Good God.
That's excessive. The other guy, 6 times.
Yeah.
Again, not that was...
No.
44 times. Most were defensive wounds, but some were fatal.
Oh.
They were also told that Scott Falater had put gloves on before killing his wife.
Oh, see that?
Uh-huh. And that afterward, he had bandaged a cut on his finger.
See, I just don't know if you could be that asleep. I don't know.
On 2020, they showed him in the interrogation room, and he's got a Band-Aid on his hand, and they're like, "Where'd you get that cut?" And he's like, I don't know. I don't remember doing that. But yeah,
wow.
He cut his finger. Police said that bloody clothes and a knife were found in his van, indicating that he had tried to cover up his actions.
Yeah.
The neighbor who witnessed the attack testified that they saw Scott, quote, quieting the dog, going up the stairs, turning on a light, taking clothes off, going down to the garage, getting things out, putting things back in the car.
All while eating his popcorn and enjoying the show.
Again, I was like,
what?
Dude.
Yeah.
At what point did you call 911 or check on Yarmila? I don't know. Dr. Roger Broughton and Dr. Rosalind Cartwright, 2 of the world's leading sleep experts at the time, testified at the trial that Scott could have killed his wife while sleepwalking, telling the court that if she had disturbed him in his sleep, he could have perceived her as a threat.
But
when would he have had time to put his gloves on?
Right. Okay, hold up. I know I'm going to have to attack you, but let me put my gloves on first.
Let me get my gloves on.
Let me get my gloves.
And
weird.
Okay, so I'll tell you this part first. But Dr. Cartwright said that sleepwalkers have committed such senseless acts as destroying their own furniture or plunging their own arms through panes of glass.
Jesus.
Right. I would think that would wake you up, though.
Yeah.
Once you had done that, then you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
So her theory was that Scott, while sleepwalking, was working to fix the swimming pool pump when Yarmila walked over to question him about it, and his fight or flight impulse kicked in and he attacked her. So, but my thing about that was he wouldn't have been wearing gloves to fix an O-ring on a filter.
You wouldn't think
Do you know what I mean?
so.
Like, that's not a wear gloves situation. So when did he put the gloves on?
You wouldn't think, but maybe he, if you're in a sleep state, maybe he's thinking something else.
I guess. So did he fall asleep while he was writing his Mormon class stuff? And then, but in his sleep, she asked, go fill the pit. I don't know. That just sounded weird.
Really weird.
Let's see. So sleepwalkers are incapable of facial recognition during episodes, Cartwright said. Scott mistook Yarmila for an attacker, she believed. On cross-examination, the other expert, Dr. Broughton, did admit that for a sleepwalker to do as many specific and complicated actions as Scott had, including committing a violent crime, hiding evidence, and changing clothes, is highly unusual.
Yeah. Those are the things, like I can almost see you attacking somebody, and not waking up. But yeah, changing your clothes, putting things in a Tupperware bin.
Yeah.
Specifically putting them in your car. That's a lot of steps.
Scott Falater took the stand at his trial, which we all know is like a...
Yeah, you never do that, God damn it.
Telling jurors that his wife was his high school sweetheart and that they wanted to be together forever.
Oh.
They were married in 1976. Both were raised Catholic, but they converted.
Oh, wow.
And he said, quote, there was no way I could do that, not intentionally. And he was crying at times during his testimony saying, I loved her. I don't know what I would do without her.
Well, I'm going to figure it out, I guess.
You're going to have to figure it out real quick. Prosecutors painted their marriage as not so perfect, however. They said that Scott had a desire for more children that wasn't shared by his wife and that she was unhappy with the family's Mormon faith.
Oh.
And prosecutors also reportedly told the court that her body was found without her wedding ring.
Ooh.
But,
yeah.
I mean
some people take them off at night to sleep,
Some people take them off. Some people,
Oh.
it wasn't enough. They didn't have a great motive to pin it on. They didn't have anything good. So, is it an argument? One wants more kids, one doesn't. That's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Religion can be a big thing, especially since they both converted together. And then one's like, I don't know if I'm into this anymore. These are all stressful things. But
right. But murder things?
It's not really murder motive, She also felt that he spent too much time on church activities. But again, that's
not.
It's still, these are still, as far as I could tell, pretty minor,
it's not embezzling.
Right? or draining the family savings account because of gambling issues. So the defense argued that stress could have brought on Scott's sleepwalking episodes. His coworker testified, saying that his work stress at Motorola was constant. She said it was not a 40-hour job. I'll put it that way. It was a 60, 80-hour job kind of thing. Okay. And he was doing this teaching classes. Yeah.
Trying to fix a pool.
And then she asked him to fix the pool. And he was just like,
he's like,
I am tired,
Done.
Still. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, the pool. The coworker also said he would be under tremendous amount of pressure from his management to get products released on time. So the deadlines he had to meet were incredibly tough, and everybody gets stressed or tense, but I never saw him lose his cool.
Yeah, because he held it all in and he lost it.
He did now.
Yeah. Big time.
Oh, so prosecutor Juan Martinez during the trial said to Scott, explain to me then, as you're stabbing your wife 44 times and she's screaming and you're moving about, how is it that a tiny alarm on your watch can wake you up, but her screaming can't?
That's
and
a really
Scott,
good point.
Responded with, it didn't always wake me up. I'm not a sleep doctor. I can't explain the difference, sir.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That's just not good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe
don't take the stand. Just say.
Another brilliant example of don't take the stand in your own defense, even though everybody wants to hear from you. It usually
don't have all the right answers for cross-examination.
It's too easy to get caught in a trap. So jurors convicted Scott after 8 hours of deliberation. The judge sentenced him to life in prison.
Oh, see, he got something then.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
This was weird, though. Scott announced as he left the courtroom, it's not over yet, which I think is really weird. I feel like after that, what you should do is shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Just walk out.
And who has to be the poor soul that shares a bunk with him in prison?
Dude, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like,
this shithead kills people in his sleep.
Seriously. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. I don't want to. I'm going to need to request a new roommate.
Can I get a different roommate, please? I'll take the serial killer down the road. Down the line.
Right. That at least I know when he's sleeping, I can sleep, right? God.
He can plot, but.
Oh, God. Ugh. He did express remorse. In a quote published by the Associated Press, he said, I have no memory of what happened. The only thing I do know is that I loved my wife. I've tortured myself 100 times with thoughts of what must have been going through her mind as she was being attacked by me. It had to have been terrifying, confusing, and painful experience for her.
And for your kids.
And for, oh God, right? Several jurors spoke out right after the verdict. One juror said, quote, I felt that maybe the first 2 stabs to Yarmila, but the number of stab wounds and the fact that she was drugged to the pool and held under, I can't believe he was sleepwalking. Which also brings me back to, like, when he got in the pool, that didn't wake him up either.
Right, the water.
The water.
Wow.
Another juror said after the murder had taken place, he panicked and tried to cover it up. That was the thing that
could be.
And then a third juror said, quote, taking the clothes and putting them in the container and putting the container inside the trunk, cleaning up, changing clothes, that just struck us as not quite believable.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. His sentencing was in the year 2000, and his 2 kids pleaded for their father's life, and the judge decided against the death penalty and sentenced him to life without parole.
Oh, wow.
He told ABC News, quote, we were meant for each other. I never doubted that, and I still don't doubt that, so I will miss her till the day I die.
So will your kids.
Right.
That's so sad.
That's the second story that happened only 10 years later, but very different. But I still feel like there were a lot of similarities. I mean, both attacks were really brutal.
Really brutal. And and with the first one, like, you'd have to go search for a tire iron and search for a knife.
And he had to drive 14 miles.
Driving. Yeah, good point. Holy balls.
And he didn't drive, like, just anywhere or go to the house next door. He went specifically to his in-laws' house.
Oh, gosh. I can't believe he didn't get anything. It makes you wonder if Canada has a little bit different.
Right? I wonder. Structure. They didn't say anything, but I wonder if they had any kind of life insurance policy on her in-laws.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's interesting. That's a good thought.
I don't know what Scott Falater's motive would have been other than, I don't know. I don't even know.
Other than maybe snapping.
Yeah, maybe snapping. Maybe he just didn't want to be married anymore. And he just didn't want to. I don't know what the Mormon faith, how they look at divorce.
Yeah, they do. So I have friends that are Mormon, and there is a thing like, if one has done something wrong, like infidelity or whatever, they kind of get kicked out of the faith. Okay. And then they'll usually take care of the woman or whoever, but it can be rough for them too. So it is pretty badly looked upon.
Right. So that's probably not that easy to be. And she didn't even want to stay in the Mormon faith. She wanted to convert back or just not be.
Maybe he was so afraid of being excommunicated, kind of, because you do.
That could be. Yeah. Because if she was going to leave him or whatever, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I could be wrong on all that. So if I am, somebody write in and correct me.
Yeah. We're just
conjecture.
Talking, just trying to think of what. But isn't that crazy? So that's one dream. Actually, I guess it should be two dreams from her.
Dreams from
But that's not the title of our show. So,
so we're going with one. One twice.
One. Yes, they shared the same dream. I don't know.
Maybe. Creepy.
Right? Sources for this episode include apnews.com, providentia.com. I'm guessing here. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good.
TorontoCityNews.ca, ForensicFilesNow.com, People.com, Heavy.com, AZFamily.com, and ABC's 2020.
There was something, what's the Twinkie Defense? There was something about the Twinkie Defense. I need to look that up.
There's a Twinkie Defense?
There's a Twinkie Defense. And it's something kind of like that weird insomnia. I'll have to look it up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, one Twinkie.
I wonder what they would have used if they had decided to go with the insanity defense.
Yeah.
He was just stressed out. And
like severe anxiety.
But still, I feel like even that insanity defense, or he just lost it for, I don't know.
Bizarre.
I kind of feel like he's where he should be. And the other guy should have had something.
I think you're right. Involuntary manslaughter would have been smart.
Yeah. Someone still died at his hands because of his actions.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have that up there.
I teach my kids that if they hurt somebody, like if they, because one will slam into the other by accident and they'll be like, ow. And I'll be like, apologize. Like, well, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm like, you still say sorry.
You still did it.
You still hurt them. You just say, I'm sorry you got hurt. Yeah. So, if I can teach my kids that, he could do something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Some community service at least. Something.
Right. Instead, he's running for the school board.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And I'm kind of with I get it, like that whole, he was up for murder and he was cleared. But yeah, I don't know if I want anybody on the school board who's been charged with embezzling.
Yeah, even the embezzlement alone is enough, let alone murder.
I think we could do better on our school board.
I think we can find somebody, because maybe he'll embezzle from the school district, which doesn't have any money anyway.
Right. So. Has he stopped with the ponies? Do we know?
Right.
Do we know if he stopped?
Did that cure him?
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening. Please stay odd.
Stay odd with us.
Yes. We're odd. We don't want to be odd by ourselves.
Right. Oh, and enter our sticker contest.
Yes, we need some stickers for season 2. So if you're listening, or if you want to re-listen to any of the episodes on season 2 and you think of some good ideas for stickers, we could use some help.
We could use some help.
I mean, how awesome does it look on your resume that I made a sticker for a random podcast? I mean, employers want that.
Everybody does. And if yours gets chosen, you get a free sticker sheet.
Yeah, we'll send you
season stickers.
We'll send you some stickers.
Yeah.
We'll send you stickers. To see images from this story, Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ODFM Podcast, or on our website at odfmpodcast.com, where you'll also find a link to our merch store, where you can get awesome stuff like t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and more.
And if the weekly podcast just isn't enough to fill your ODFM cup full, join our fan club on Patreon for more content like minisodes, bloopers, and discounts at our merch store. That site is patreon.com/ODFM podcast.
And if you do love our bloopers and need more than we naturally do, which is a lot, buy us a glass of wine at buymeacoffee.com/ODFM podcast. Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM, hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Production and editing by Kelly DeVries. Theme music by Eric Swanson. ODFM is a satirical true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only. The stories you hear are serious and true. The comments and opinions are not. We apologize if any of our content is harmful or disrespectful.